Hello, this is a quick video tutorial to show how to use and set up forums in Moodle. So first I've built a couple of different kinds of forums just to show you all some of the possibilities. Forum is actually a really versatile tool that you can use to structure all kinds of learning experiences for your students, and also just as a resource. As you can see, I've built what I call a help forum here at the top, and students can ask questions here. And rather than sending you an email every time they have a question, students can post to the help forum. And then other students actually might be able to go in and answer those questions. So this would be an ungraded forum. And everybody who posts, or anytime anyone posts, everybody would get an email. So this is what this looks like. Oh, the student has posted a question. Instead of responding by email, I could come in and then I could reply to the student and I could tell them the name of the thing. I could then post this for everyone, or if it were something that the student actually needed a private response and they didn't quite realize that, I could always reply privately. But in this case, everyone probably has this question, so I'm going to go ahead and post it to the forum. Everyone is automatically subscribed. This isn't optional. They can't opt out of getting email notifications for this. So I know for sure that when I answer a question here, everybody will see the answer. So that's just one way that I have found a help forum reduces the number of email questions that I get, and it also gives students an opportunity to build a little bit of community with each other. Somebody got to answer somebody else's question and they can start to see each other as a resource, which is a really powerful tool for learning. Often you can use a forum to get students to introduce themselves to each other or to reflect on some reading. So in this instance, this is actually a graded forum. So students can read the prompt, they can answer that prompt, and you, as the teacher, can grade those users. In this case, it's just an entry of score. I happen to know that 10 is the maximum. You could also use the arrows up and down, and if you go over, Moodle will let you know. So then I can go on to the next student, and student 1 has responded. Oh, good job, student 1. You were also supposed to respond. So student 1 gets 10 points. It turns out that student 2 didn't do anything, so student 2 gets a 0. Saving and moving on. So you can create forums, you can use them for communication, you can also use them as a way for students to display work and demonstrate their learning, interact with each other, and you can actually grade them. In this case, here's another example. There was a prompt that I asked them to do some very specific things. Here is a way to grade my users, and this one actually has a rubric attached. Let's go ahead and say that this meets the expectation, or maybe doesn't meet the expectation. I could also describe why not. And then you can save and move on to the next student, or arrow over and you'll get the next student. So quite a versatile tool. You can grade it, you can use rubrics, you can just use points if that's what you want to do. And students can interact with each other. Basically, they just click on the title and then they can add their own discussion topic. This is how you start a thread, essentially. Add a discussion topic. Or they can reply to another discussion topic. Teachers can reply privately. I don't believe that users can reply privately to each other. A thing to note is, as a teacher, I can post to any forum. Let's just go back to the forum. If I add a discussion topic, I have the option to send the forum post with no delay. Students won't have this option. So that's a 30-minute, I call it the 30-minute window of regret. Students post and then they have 30 minutes in which they can change or edit their post. As teachers, you can push something to a forum without that delay. So that's pretty much how they work. I think many of us are familiar with the basic idea of online forums, and this is what they look like in Moodle. There are some other variations of kind, but in this case, most of the time folks just the straightforward default forum works for most cases. So here's how to set one up. You'll turn editing on, and you'll go to where you want your forum to be. Let's go ahead and make a forum in week 2 now. You select forum from, I have mine starred, but if it weren't starred, it would either be under all or under activities. Find a forum, give it a title, and here's where you put the prompt. Make sure that you include the prompt for the task and submission and or engagement. Let's call it engagement expectations. Because it's not enough to just say what the task is, you also want them to submit it. Maybe you also want them to attach a file. Maybe you want them to reply to 3 people. Those are all important pieces of information to put in that prompt. If you want to make it for a grade, you can go down to whole forum grading, make it for points, and then you can decide how many. And you can use simple direct grading, a grading guide, or a rubric, which we won't have time to cover in this video, but there are lots of opportunities to learn about those tools. And then if you have gradebook with weighted categories, you would select which category it went in. Under activity completion, you can also set some conditions for this. So maybe they have to post a discussion or a reply. In this case, they don't have to start their own thread. They might just reply to someone. Often people want students to create a discussion and post a reply, at least one. More commonly, it's 2. So you can set some of those conditions also. Save and return to the course. And now we see, let's turn editing mode off so we see what that looks like. Here's the forum, and they need to start one discussion and post 2 replies. It says right there what students need to do. And when they're ready, they would click on it and add their discussion topic and then reply to each other. So that's how it goes. Any graded forum will go into the gradebook under whichever category you have sent it to. So in this case, this one went into homework, and this other forum went into attendance and participation. If we were to look at a user report to see what students see, to see how they see that in their own gradebook, we can see that the student got a 0 for the introduction forum. And we have not yet graded their other forum. But when we do, the points would show up here, and that would all be calculated into their course total. So that's how forums work. If you have questions about how to set them up, how to maybe use them in your courses to create learning experiences for your students, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me directly, Robbie Pock, at pockr@pacificu.edu, or you can send an email to the SETC team at edtech@pacificu.edu.